Hello.
Welcome back. Whoa. Stop it. Stop it. Stop right now. Stop that. We're still live. Okay. We're going to kick it off here. So since we both want to play the host of today's episode, I am one of your hosts, Christopher Collins, aka the best at the rest. And I'm joined here with my throwing partner, Mr. Brian Caprino. How are you today, sir?
Chris, I'm doing well. We're going to play some Ultimate Jazz for you this morning. And I was told I have a voice for radio. I'm doing great. Just a long day at work. We are here. We are ready. It's we're week 2 into baseball. Let's go.
It feels like it's been a while. It honestly has.
Spring
feels
training
like it's
dragged so much.
I feel like we're like almost a month into baseball now.
And we're 10 games in.
But what I like to say is it's been exciting so far, and I like it. So.
And that's been exciting. And I think what really kicked off the excitement was the fact that 2 weeks ago, with 2 minutes left in the podcast, we both predicted a no-hitter for the San Diego Padres.
The mustard and brown.
I thought it into existence, and then you dropped 2 names. You said, I can see Blake Snell throwing it, or I could see Joe Musgrove throwing it. Yes. And Joe Musgrove, pride of San Diego, Grossmont High graduate, throws the Padres' first no-hitter in team history. Couldn't have been scripted any better than that.
I will say this, though, for all the people out there, I'm going to bring it up. So Brian was messaging me about the no-hitter, and he sent me a picture, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I know who that is. And it's our English 7th grade teacher, Mr. Kobayashi. And he was at the no-hitter. He was there for the whole series in Texas. And the fact that you got a picture of him on the TV when he threw the no-hitter was so
literally
funny.
I opened the app, the MLB app, to watch the final 3 outs. And the minute it opens is literally him. Right when it opened. And I was like, I know him. And I got the screenshot.
He's a great teacher.
Great teacher. I still hear his voice in my head when I'm doing commas, when I'm writing. Comma, comma. Like I still do that in my head.
You know, your grammar, how do you say it? Grammarly correct.
Yeah, grammatically correct. And I'm so glad I got that screenshot. And
I was laughing so hard. You have no idea. Like when you sent that, like in my head, I'm like, is that who I think it is?
Did he respond to you? Did he?
Yeah. Hang on. Give me a second. So I sent it to him on Facebook Messenger, and this is what I put. Oh gosh, this is funny. Let me find it. There it is. Okay. So I sent him the picture. I said, "You're on the big screen." Brian Caprino says hi, and he's the one that got the picture. And then he put, "Yes, sir." I put awesome sauce. That was it. So
that's great.
It was great. It was funny though, but yeah, that was funny. But going back to what happened, finally the Padres in franchise history, have a no-hitter. They were the last team to not have a no-hitter, and now they finally have it. And you know what? Honestly, it was so close to a perfect game. He just hit one batter,
one plunk, man,
and it just. You know, it doesn't take away how good Joe Musgrove was pitching that game, but man, it could have been a perfect game. But, you know, congrats to Joe Musgrove, local San Diego native, growing up here. Not much older than you and I. I think he's like maybe 2 years older, around there.
I think I'm older than him by a few months.
I don't know, but like we talked about before, we said that the Joe Musgrove pickup for the Padres was going to be sneaky but good. And it's paying off because he has pitched not only the no-hitter, but pitched phenomenal.
He's got a 0 ERA.
His 2 starts, 0 ERA already.
And no walks.
No walks. And, you know, here's the thing, too, is like the numbers are not like the greatest, like Jacob deGrom numbers in Pittsburgh for Joe Musgrove. But you got to think, he was pitching in Pittsburgh. Right.
Yeah.
And he was still getting wins. He was still having a decent ERA. He was having the strikeouts. He was having the innings pitched. This guy's super reliable. And now that you look at the Padres starting rotation, one, you got Yu Darvish as your ace. Two, Blake Snell's an ace too, and that's your number 2 guy. And then number 3, you got Denzel LeMay, who he's okay. I think he's
got to stay healthy.
He's got to stay healthy, but he's going to be okay. But now your 4th guy just pitched a no-hitter, and he has 0 ERA.
So you have 4 aces and Chris Paddock.
And here's the thing too. Chris Paddock, if you look at some of these teams, honestly, Chris Paddock is a number 1 starter for some teams.
Yeah. And he's, Chris Paddock's a guy that we've seen what he's had in the past. He's good. I think he just got to find it. And once he gets in that groove, like that rotation, he has control issues. Once he figures it out though, like that rotation is scary.
You have to remember all like Fernando Tatis and Chris Paddock, all for the Padres, were all players to be named later.
Yeah, they got Paddock in the Fernando Rodney deal.
Yeah.
Like you send a 42-year-old closer and you get Chris Paddock in return. Like,
I mean, the Padres, steal. I mean, I'm not a Padres fan, but man, I applaud the front office.
You're kind of like,
like if I had to pick, okay, let's say this. If we're in playoffs, right? And the Padres are in there as the National League, they're going for the National League title. All right. And my Mariners, I don't know. Maybe they'll make playoffs. I don't know. But if they aren't in playoffs, then of course I will root for San Diego. I will root for them. Will I enjoy it? Not as much as you think, but I will go for them because they still don't have a World Series title, and I know what that feels like. So,
yeah. Okay.
But all right. So we got to talk a lot about baseball.
We got to get
in the first 10 days.
I did it all by myself last week, and
I know, and
it was really hard not talking to you about our game we love so much.
I know. School is a priority. You even said that in the podcast.
I did.
So we want to talk about certain teams and certain players that are standing out, right? So far in the first 10 days, and there have been like some teams that are doing pretty well that nobody thought they were going to do well. There's teams that are doing bad that shouldn't be doing bad. And then there's players that are doing phenomenal. And then there's players that are doing really bad. So I want you to pick 4 teams that are doing well, 4 teams that are doing bad. And then I want you to do the same thing for 4 players doing well and 4 players that are doing not so well.
Oof. Okay. All right. I'm going to start with the teams doing really bad. Some I'm really not surprised.
Okay.
The number 1, I'm going to go with the Washington Nationals.
For doing bad or good?
They're doing bad.
Oh gosh, yeah. They're I was about to say they only have 1 win.
I know they have 2 now, but they've been really struggling with offense. And I know the whole COVID thing pushed them back. They didn't play their
Max
first
Scherzer,
series.
Man, I don't know what's up with Max Scherzer.
He had a good game against the Dodgers.
Still though, like getting rocked in that opener. Oh my gosh, he looked terrible. That first inning gave it 3 home runs or 2?
I think 2.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
But it's okay. It's whatever. 2 is Oakland.
Yeah.
Everyone was like 2-team race in the West. A's Houston.
Yeah.
A's are 3-7. They've won 2. Okay, they've won their last 2.
I mean, you have to give them some lenience because they did play really tough teams in the first 6 games.
A lot of teams did, and they won them.
That's true. I mean, I get it, but I'm just trying to give Oakland some love.
Look at the Angels, who weren't supposed to get off to a hot start like they never do. And this is the first year they have. They faced Chicago and they faced Houston back to back. And out of those 6 games, they lost 2.
What are you guys now? 7-3?
We are 7. We're about to be 7-3 because we just jumped up 10-3 on Kansas City.
Right on.
So we're 6-3 right now. Houston's lost 3 in a row. So
who are they playing?
Houston is playing the
Hold your breath.
Tigers. They lost to the Tigers.
Oh, wow. Well, Detroit's not
6-2.
bad. Detroit's not bad right now.
Detroit, yeah. I totally sidetracked it from the bad teams. So
you have Oakland.
So I have Oakland. I have Washington.
Yeah, 2 more.
Surprised by Toronto a little bit.
How bad they're playing? Yeah, they should be a lot better.
Like they had that rout against the Angels, but like they lost a series to the Rangers.
Yeah,
and the Rangers are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like maybe because it's a young team, but you also have to put into account like they don't have the greatest pitching.
They have, Hyun-Jin Ryu is like their only real guy. I mean, you can't say Tanner Roark is like the guy, and you can't say, is Matt Shoemaker still there? I thought he resigned.
He's in Minnesota.
Oh, he's in Minnesota now. They should have kept him because he was actually doing well there. So I don't know why they didn't do that. But they do have that one young kid. And I can't remember his name. He's, give me a few seconds, but keep going.
Was that 4 or 3?
That was 3.
Oh, dang. Well, they haven't played a lot of games, but I'm going to go with the Mets next.
Yeah, they haven't played as many because of COVID. So
they haven't played that many games, but they have blown 2 DeGrom starts this season already. And they had that weird play with Conforto who leaned into a ball. And
oh my gosh, that made me so mad.
Yeah.
I would have been furious. That is like clear as day that he literally leaned into that ball. Yeah. Clear as day. And what's funny too is the umpire was getting ready to ring him up too. He was in the motion to ring him up, and he's like, nope, he's hit. I'm like, no way. Okay, so those are your 4 teams.
Yeah.
All right, so I got to pick 4 bad teams because that's what you started with, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna go. All right, this is tough for me. One, it's because so many teams are just like kind of average right now. My teams that are doing bad is 1, the Yankees. I think they're underachieving hardcore right now.
Yeah, they're 500 right now.
And they really have no excuse because there's not a whole lot of players that hurt right now compared to what they had last season so far. So I would say, I can't say Tampa Bay yet because they did lose a lot of people. I am not expecting them to win the division. And even though they were the American League champions, but I can't put that on them. My other one, I'm going to agree with you, is Washington. They're just, to me, I think age is catching up on that team. Their whole roster is really old. Another bad one to me, and they just lost today. They gave up the lead and everything, is Chicago. Chicago Cubs? No.
I can argue both White Sox or both Chicago teams, the White Sox and the Cubs, are underperforming.
But the White Sox, though, have injuries. Chicago has no injuries.
They did lose Tim Anderson.
Yeah,
I did forget they lost Tim Anderson, so that's a big issue.
And the Cubs don't really have any injury issues. Everybody's playing, so I don't know
have the guys. And they lost. They played Pittsburgh how many times in opening week and got their butts handed to them by the Pirates.
They really did. And so my other team that I'm gonna say that's pretty bad. I don't know how to put it. It's just kind of there. I'm gonna go with you with Toronto at 4-6, so they should be a lot better than that, especially with the roster. And also how the division that AL East is playing right now, they should actually be easily ahead in that division.
Yeah, because they've already played the Yankees, which they took the series against the Yankees.
And they lost today to the Yankees.
Yeah.
And Robbie Ray threw well today. He did. He threw really well.
I think Robbie Ray's he's like their like passion project out there in Toronto. I think he really enjoyed his time to end last year, and I'm glad he re-signed.
His strikeout numbers are down though compared to Arizona.
Yeah,
that's the only thing. But he is throwing better. So
let's go to surprise teams.
Surprise teams. Are you want to start or you want me to start?
Yeah, I'll start.
Okay.
One right now, like you brought it up for the podcast, like Boston winners of 6 in a row.
I never thought they had Here's the thing. They actually have, if you look at it, they actually have a roster that's really well-rounded.
They just underperform.
They just underperform. But also you look at the starting pitching and it's just like Chris Sale's not there. They don't have a lot of starting pitching.
Yeah.
But they're actually doing well.
Doing well. Garrett Richards is there and he's going to strike out 10 and give up 7. So
And Eduardo Rodriguez is back. So
yeah, he just got back. So I'm going with Boston. The next one, I'm going to bring us to Northern California and talk about the Giants.
Yeah.
They faced. I mean, they faced the Padres. They took the series against the Padres.
But who did they lose to in the series?
They lost to Seattle.
That's right.
Your Mariners.
Yes, they did.
They've played Colorado. I forgot who else they've played. Maybe the Diamondbacks. I don't remember. That might just be it.
They played the Padres.
Honestly. They played the Padres, but I think they home opened against the Rockies.
They home opened. Yes.
A couple days ago, yeah. So against the Rockies.
Yeah.
So they faced, I mean, they took the series against the better team of the Padres, so that's pretty good. But they're holding their own. They're 6-3, winners of 4. They are losing right now 2-0 to the Reds, but
that's the other thing you got to pick.
The Reds. Yeah, come on. That's my segue because I'm going.
I was about to say
Cincinnati they're hitting. They are just.
Nick Castellanos is hit. Actually, Joey Votto is doing his old self again.
Tyler Naquin getting DFA'd by Cleveland and then getting picked up by the state Reds from in Ohio.
I feel like that's a thing they like to do. Like they did with Trevor Bauer too.
Yeah, like it's so weird because like Naquin, like I'm looking at it, like he leads in a lot of major offensive categories. He's tied for first in home runs. He's tied for second with RBI. Like he's holding his own.
He just maybe, like you said with Robbie Ray, he just needs a fresh start somewhere. That's it.
Yeah,
and Tyler Naquin's still very young, so
yeah, he is. I think he's 28 or 29, so
yeah,
he's fine. It didn't pan out in Cleveland, but that's the beauty about starting fresh is like you can set your career again somewhere else and have success.
All right, who's your last one then?
My last one,
the Angels.
I'm going to my Angels.
Okay.
They are
fair enough.
Fun to watch right now, and they are. I said it last week. Like when I went to the home opener, like there's a different vibe coming from that dugout and the guys how they play on the field. Like
it's about time.
Seeing Trout show a little emotion, like and Ohtani showing emotion, like
yeah.
And then Walsh like killing it, like. It's fun. And then Alex Cobb struck out 10 today. Like, they're holding their own. I know they got bit by the injury bug the last 2 days, but
they'll be fine.
They'll be fine. And I think right now, after this win today, they are sitting on top of the AL West a week in. And I'm not used to seeing this this early in April.
It's the first time since 2014, right? Something like that.
Honestly, I was there in 14 and that's the last time they won their home opener.
Yeah,
but they
made playoffs that year.
That's the last time they went to the playoffs, and the last time they won the West. They didn't. I don't remember if they started out too hot that year, but they're notoriously slow starters.
Now it's the opposite right now.
Yeah,
so
and that's why I'm surprised. Good. So they're number 4, my surprise teams right now.
Oh boy! So I'm going to agree with you with San Fran. That's and Cincinnati. I'm going to agree with those two. The other two I'm going to pick. I'm wearing the bandana right now. We have a 5-4 record, and we played the Twins, and we played the Giants. 2 formidable teams. We're doing well. We're holding our own.
The Twins game, they were down.
We came back and won.
And they came back and won.
Kyle Seager.
2 homers?
2 homers and 1 in the 8th. That was a 3-run shot.
And is Walk here?
He ain't walking.
Honestly,
here's the thing too,
Kevin Mather's gone, he's staying.
Oh my god. I will say this. If for some odd reason, and it's so bad, but this is just how real of a fan I am for Seattle. If for some reason at the All-Star break, we are within 6 games of a wild card or anything, 6 games, Kyle Seager stays. Anything past that, he's gone. He's gone somewhere else. And I hope he makes the playoffs because he hasn't touched the playoffs in his whole career. So that's my 3. My next one, Philly. I didn't think Philly was going to be this good. I actually have kind of like a little bet going with one of my coworkers on the NL East because he's a Braves fan. And I said, watch, the Phillies he goes, you're not going to pick the Mets? I'm like, no, I'm going to say Phillies win the division. And so far, it's been working out pretty well. They haven't the They won
Was this
today.
Rev? Is this Rev that you bet?
No, this isn't Rev. This is somebody else.
Oh, you said at work, yeah.
Yeah. But they did lose today. Or sorry, Philly did win today, but they lost 2 before that. But they're 6-3. I honestly feel like they have everything clicking offensively. They're actually doing what that lineup is supposed to do. Bryce Harper's hitting. Alec Boehm is starting. He's healthy.
He's hitting and he's being called safe when he's out at home.
Hey, anything to help me out. But those are my 4 teams. And then I want to start off with 4 players that are bad. You ready for the first one?
Yes.
Who do you think I'm going to say?
Someone out west.
Yep.
Someone on my team.
Yep.
Someone who either plays second or third.
You got to pick one.
Third.
Yep.
Anthony Rendon.
Yes. Terrible season right now. I don't know.
Well, Rendon was placed on the IL today due to groin tightness.
Maybe that is what he needs. Maybe he needs some rest. I don't know. But man, he just doesn't look like he's there.
He usually has a slow start.
Come on, man. You got to live up to the contract now.
I know. Oh, yeah. Especially since last year's a wash year.
Yeah.
You have one less year now. And I really don't want a long-term contract. He didn't get 10 years like Pujols, but I don't want a guy like him getting that money and then having another big contract not pan out for the Angels.
Yeah,
I'm sick and tired of that.
You're sick and tired of it.
Sick and tired of it.
Oh my gosh. You're sick.
It's rough.
Okay. All right. So my next one that a person that's doing really bad shouldn't be is a reigning MVP right now. Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, Freddie Freeman's got
he's not hitting.
He's got 4 homers, but he's hitting 170. Yeah.
He's hitting 143.
It's bad.
I'm sorry.
It's what's wrong, Freddie?
The power numbers are there. I get it, but man, he is notorious for having that high average, and it's not there.
143, man.
Yeah, to me right now, Freddie Freeman struck. I think he'll find it though. That's only a temporary thing. He will definitely find it. My other one
he's hitting the ball. He's just not hitting it. Maybe the shift has a lot to do with it because he's only got 5 strikeouts this whole year.
And you know what's funny? I'm going to stay with Atlanta with Dansby Swanson not performing well, and he had a great year last year and the year before that. And now he's right now hitting 189 with 1 homer and 3 RBIs, I think, something like that.
Didn't he miss some time though? Didn't he just get activated?
No, he has 37 at bats.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, he's been there, but his ops is only 562.
Dang, isn't he a free agent after this season?
I think so. I think he is, but he's not helping his case right now.
Not good. Well, he's never been known as for his bat.
Well, the last 2 seasons he's been doing well, and I don't know what's going on there. My other one I want to go with, and I just want to go on record. All of my players so far, besides Anthony Rendon, are all National League. Because I feel like the National League's actually pretty weak this year compared to the American League. So it's going back to the old days of how the American League is the powerhouse right now. But the one I want to go with is a team that should be doing better, which is, like I said, Chicago Cubs. And if you can think about the player, who do you think it is?
Chris Bryant?
No, Chris Bryant's average right now. He's doing average.
Wilson Contreras?
No, Anthony Rizzo.
Oh, well...
He's hitting.
No one's hitting.
Here, ready? 118, 1 homer, 2 RBIs, 1 stolen base. Guess what the ops is?
2 something.
No, not that low. Come on.
305.
460.
460.
That's really, really low.
And he's in a walk year too.
He's in a walk year, and I think he doesn't get a contract back.
Yeah, but
he's already 31 years old, so.
No one on that team is hitting. Chris Bryant's hitting 265. Big whoop.
I would say the only player that really is Ian Happ.
Ian Happ's hitting 143.
But what's his power numbers?
Oh, let's see. Power.
He's got 3 homers?
1 homer, 1 RBI.
Oh. Who am I thinking of then? There's somebody on
he has 4 for 28.
Maybe it's Jock Peterson. Let's see.
Jock Peterson's hitting 129.
Oh my goodness.
Jason Hayward, 152.
What is happening to this team? Let me see Javi. What's Javi at? Javi's at 243. He's got 3 homers, though. He's got 3 homers. He's like doing the most on the team.
David Bodie, 087. Wilson Contreras.
They need to figure it out.
14. Man, all right. It's a rough time in Chicago right now.
Before we continue, you got to do your 4 bad players.
My 4 bad players. For one, the one on top of my head, he did have 2 hits tonight, but not used to seeing a guy like David Fletcher have a start like this. So
it's he got this new contract. Maybe that's flustering him a little bit. Like he's thinking he's got to play harder or something. I don't know.
Maybe, but he got it, so it should relax him, I guess. But I don't know. But he has 2 hits tonight. He's hitting like 231, so not too bad. But I think it's just the fact of possibly heating up. I'm also gonna go with Mike Yastrzemski.
Yeah,
who's hitting 125, 1 homer, 2 RBIs.
He's lucky the rest of his team is actually hitting
1 homer, 1 RBI. His ops is 472. It's pretty bad. I'm gonna go with the next guy is Paul DeYoung, who's hitting 114.
He's always a hit and miss, but he's always power.
He has 2 homers, 4 RBIs. His ops is 548. His OBP is 262. It's really bad.
It's early. All these players.
It's early. Was that 3?
That was 3.
Yastrzemski, Fletcher, Paul DeYoung. I talked about him a lot pre-season. In spring training, I talked about how hot Jock Peterson was. And now he's like...
He's back to the Dodger way.
Cooled off. That maybe it's the art of playing every day has really gotten him feeling some kind of way. Who knows? But he's cooled off a lot since spring. So that's why spring numbers don't matter.
Well, with that, do we want to go into 4 players that stand out, or we just want to talk about 1?
Let's pick 1.
Let's pick 1. Okay. I'm going to be honest with you. Yadier Molina, I didn't think was going to be this good. Defensively, he is just picking every single person, stealing a base apart.
Always like bet on Yachty to do well for defensively.
But that's the thing though. If you look back the 2 years, he's kind of been hurt and every now and then, and it hasn't been there. But this year, I think maybe he's given up maybe like 2 stolen bases, if that. And then also he's actually hitting again.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Yachty. I wanted to pick Nolan Arenado really bad because he's having a great start in St. Louis, which is good. I didn't think he was gonna have that good of a start, or Baddoo in Detroit. Yeah, because that's a great story. But I'm gonna go with Yachty.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go with
Joe Musgrove.
Man, no, I think I'm gonna go with a hitter. I think I'm gonna go with Byron Buxton.
That's a good choice.
Like he's always shown he has it, and then he gets hurt. Something happens. Like he's tied for first in homers with 5 already. Like he's hitting like well over 400.
Yeah.
So maybe he's finally put it together. Like once he stay healthy,
he's been good though. That's the thing. He's been good.
He's been good, but it's the art of staying healthy, and like that he's finally doing it right now is like,
yeah,
it's good. It's good for the Twins.
Yeah. And I think we're going to wrap that up with baseball. We've been talking about the early stages of baseball so far. If you haven't watched any baseball games yet, go start watching it any way you can. It's exciting so far. The games have been, majority of them haven't been blowouts, so it's been nice to watch like some good dual games and everything like that. But let's jump. We only have a couple of other things to talk about. But one thing for the NFL, it's kind of cooled off with the trades, and the signings and everything like that. So I think teams are now focusing on the draft. So stay tuned for that. That's not for a while though, but just be ready for that. And then Julian Edelman retired today.
Yep. Call it quits. after 11 seasons in New England?
I mean, he got the rings, he's got the catches,
He's
and
got
like
the money.
He's got the money, and like you said before, the way that he said he wanted to retire is he was taking care of his body, which is always a good thing with the NFL, with all the concussion protocols and everything like that. Yeah. There's a lot of more bodily injury in that sport. It's because it's a major contact sport. So, good for him. He should be happy in his retirement. I mean, he'll probably talk to Tom all day long, and then he'll probably pull a Gronkowski and be like, "I want to come out of retirement. I'll play."
I was just gonna say, let's say April 12th on a Monday at 8:48 p.m. We're gonna call it this time next year. Edelman signs with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Are we right? Are we correct?
Well, he couldn't sign there. He has to get traded there. He's still under contract. It's just like Gronkowski. He had to get traded there. So, but my thing is Julian Edelman just left when the Patriots are now back to being stacked again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, good on him though. He has his reasons, and you got to respect a person for the reasons behind any decision, except if clear as day, it's just not a good decision at all. So a sport we don't ever talk about. So the PGA Masters just happened. And
golf. Man, talk about golf.
I'm not even gonna lie. I saw so many posts of the PGA Masters, which was like, one, I was like, good for golf, man. Like, it's getting really competitive, but like, there's a lot of rising stars coming up.
A lot of young guys, and I think having younger audiences is putting them in.
Golf is fun to play. It's hard to watch, fun to play. And
sometimes it's fun to play. Sometimes it's
it's frustrating.
The worst game in the world, and you want to burn it down and take it down with you.
They're so graceful though. You can't burn it down.
Yeah.
But was it so Hideki Matsuyama won the Masters? Yes. I think he's the first Japanese golfer to win the Masters.
He is. He's the first Japanese born golfer to ever win any major golf tournament.
And I want to ask you, what do you think of his quote of saying, he was asked, who is your inspiration? And he said, Yu Darvish, Hideki Matsui, and Ichiro.
And Shohei.
So is he
funny.
playing the right sport?
I mean, maybe he did his time with baseball, because after every baseball player retires, they play golf.
Well, yeah, because I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this. Okay, every baseball player athlete can play any sport. You can't have a basketball player play baseball, but you can have a baseball player play basketball. Yeah. You can't have a tennis player play baseball, but you can have a baseball player play tennis. I'm not trying to say like baseball has the greatest athletics ever. Trust me, baseball players sometimes are really lazy, and I will say that. But the thing is like, I don't know what it is, but baseball, for some reason, you can play multiple sports and be good at it still. I don't know what it is. But going back to Matsuyama, congratulations. He is the first Japanese born player to win the Masters, and his inspiration is baseball players. So that should tell all of y'all that are playing different sports, have inspiration for baseball players. You got a whole bunch of them to pick from.
He won the PGA Tour and the Masters, and he got 11.5 mil for that. So
good for him. Good for him. And you know what? Here's the thing too. If I'm just gonna say, Brian, if you qualified for the Masters, I think you should just be like, I did what I had to do. Now I'm just gonna go golf. I'm gonna go hit a plus 16 in round 1. Because you know how much you probably get for just qualifying in the Masters?
Yeah. A plus 16 though was very generous to me. I think it's more of a plus 47.
We don't really keep track of all the mulligans and everything like that. So, or the water hazards and the bunker shots.
Calling it quits after 6.
Or the best one, when you go to swing right in the rough, right? And you barely tap the ball and it doesn't go anywhere, but you tap, you're like, I just took a practice swing. You're just like, you go ahead. You go
ahead. Mark it down for 5.
And then you have the one good swing, right? And it feels good and everything, and it gets lined up perfectly, and now you're on the green, and you go to putt, and it takes you like 4 putts just to get in the hole.
Yeah. That's why golf. It's the most frustrating sport ever.
But it's so much fun though too, because like every hole, it's like, okay, I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna do better. And you know what? You still do the same thing over and over, and you're just like, I don't understand this game. I don't understand this game. But it's fun. And then last but not least, I gotta give my NHL pep talk. Trade deadline is right around the corner. Actually, should be happening, I think, tonight. I'm not gonna lie, there have been so many trades. I've never seen this many trades in the NHL ever. And I would say it revolves around Toronto, Columbus, and Tampa making the most trades. But man, there were so many. And a lot of them were like draft picks for players. So NHL is starting to come down to the wire now of their 4 teams per division to make the playoffs. So if you don't watch the NHL, totally fine. But if you want to watch exciting sport, NHL is definitely that exciting sport to watch. If you don't ever want to watch it, it's still fun to watch. So
it is. It's fun to watch. Better in person though.
It is. And I don't think they're allowing fans yet in their stadiums.
No.
I'm not sure. I don't think so. So I know the NBA is. Baseball is. I'm pretty sure. I mean, football was doing it last year, so they should be allowing fans in there too. So
football.
But with that, let's talk about the NBA for 2 seconds. 1, the Western Conference is stacked. 2, the Eastern Conference is trash. Sorry for all your Eastern Conference fans out there.
It's like a 3-team race, really.
It's so sad to watch. And then 3, be ready for playoffs. It's basically the shape of it right now is like you pretty much know who's going to be except for like 3 or 4 teams.
Yeah, it's pretty much set.
So with that, it's a quick and easy night here on April 12th, 2021. Thank you for participating and listening to our podcast. One thing is, if you guys ever need prediction calls, you can always email us. You could always hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, not Snapchat. We're not on Snapchat.
No,
we're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts, and we're on YouTube. So if you ever want some Vegas odds on like some bets or anything like that, and you're like, I don't know who to ask, call up the boys.
Yeah, call up Throwing Partners. If you're going to drop some major coin on, the Tigers winning the World Series, let us know. And place that on there, and we'll see what happens. Not going to happen. But
the thing is, too, it's your money, not our problem. So if you think we're always right, that's your fault, not us. I mean, legal rights say that was your fault. So.
Jonathan, our previous guest, friend of the pod, asked me about who to put on for Cy Young. That has
Joe Musgrove.
Okay, odds. So
I would say
he came to us, and that was the day of the no-hitter. Before,
I mean, if people are trying to pick a rookie of the year for baseball right now, I mean, Baddoo looks good, Dylan Carlson looks good, so that's kind of tough. But I would say if anybody's out there for the National League, Dylan Carlson. If he can put it on there, put it on Dylan Carlson, because Brian Hayes is not really there yet. So
and he's hurt.
Yeah, so Dylan Carlson, and he's a switch hitter. So, but with that, folks, we're gonna wrap things up here. So, like we always say, be kind, be nice. Enjoy your week, enjoy every day, enjoy your breath. That's the thing. Enjoy every breath you take. I know that's not like it's very hard to do, because if you do that, then you're more paying attention to your body than anything around you. I know. So then you become out of breath. But anyways, just be nice, be kind, have fun. We're starting to see the numbers of COVID go down. Things are opening up again. People are getting vaccinated. People are being safe. We're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Sports is bringing back fans, and we're all happy. So I'm going to throw it over to my throwing partner, Brian.
Well, Chris said, be nice, be kind, be safe. Whatever day you're listening on, we're recording this Monday night. Have a good Tuesday. Have a good rest of your week. Thank you for the support. We greatly appreciate it. And have a good one.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.